Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Paul's Old Crap. So, today we're going to play a little bit of SimCity 2000. And to do this, I'm using my IBM ThinkPad 600X, and I just actually recently did a fresh install of Windows 98 on here because I replaced the original spinning disk drive with a SSD that I pieced together pretty cheap on Amazon. So yeah, I'm not going to get too much into the specifics on the laptop. I do actually have an article that I wrote up about the reinstall process and all the extra stuff I installed, and I'll put a link in the somewhere on the video description for that article. But let's hop into SimCity 2000. So this is SimCity 2000 Special Edition. I do actually own this game. I have a physical boxed copy in my software collection, so this was one of my favorite games in the 90s. And originally, my first computer was a little bit too slow to actually run this, so I played the original SimCity. And that was also a game that I played in elementary school on their computer lab. But yeah, SimCity 2000 became one of my favorites when I had a computer that was fast enough to play it. I can't remember what it was. Might have been like my family's 486 PC, or maybe when I got my own faster computer. But yeah, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start a new city. What are we gonna call it? Let's just call it crap. I'm not going to get into a lot of the specifics, like the more advanced stuff of the game. We're just going to kind of do a basic play a little bit here. So we're just going to start off with easy mode, which basically gives us $20,000 to start off with. If you choose medium, you get less money. And I guess hard mode is where you get a loan. So eventually, I guess you're going to have to pay that back. The starting years, I think if we were to start off these years here, it'll give us more available technology. At least that's my assumption. I think every time I've played this game, I've always just started off as 1900. And if you're starting off with, if I suppose if you're doing things kind of like the slow way, which I typically do in this game, it takes years and years to actually have enough money to buy all the advanced stuff. So I don't know, whatever. We're just going to start off with the defaults. Done. Crowd celebrates Crap's founding. The Crap Chronicle. Okay. So yeah, we're just going to roll with that then. So this is our map. And first thing we need to do is... What I'm going to do is... Okay, I see we're paused right now, actually. We're just going to leave it at that. We're going to decide where we're going to create our city. Now, sometimes the annoying part with these maps is like all this elevated land, which can become a little bit of a pain when you're trying to actually build different things. So I usually prefer to start off kind of like where it's completely flat and then move on from there. So I think what we're probably going to do is probably pick right in here to actually start. So what we're going to do is just zoom in a little bit. I think this is the level I usually like to play with. So game is still paused. We're going to just set it to turtle for now. And the very first thing that I think generally you're supposed to do is build a power plant, because otherwise nothing else is going to work. And I think you want to kind of build the power plant away from most everything else that you're doing. So I think I'm just going to throw a power plant, way over here. I might regret the placement of this because I might want to level this in the future, but I don't think it really matters that much. So we go over here, we pick power plant. We could go the cheaper route of doing coal power. However, it makes a large amount of pollution, and yeah, your people aren't going to be too happy. Oil power, marginally cleaner than coal power. So these are things that actually factor in as well. People get upset if there's too much pollution, then you have to go and do things to kind of counter that. So we're just going to start off with the oil power. And we're going to drop that right there. And now that we've done that, we have to do a few more things like get water to it. Because if we go to this and we go to the pipes view, there's no water anywhere because we haven't built any water pumps, and you gotta like provide water to these places. So, I think probably the easiest thing we're gonna do is just run a bunch of power lines over here. This is probably just gonna be a terrible build, but I'm just doing this as an example for this video. But we're going to place a water pump there, and then we're going to run our pipes. Wait, come on, we're right up here. Can't even see what I'm doing. Citizens demand road and rail. Shut up, I'm starting off. This is interesting. These stupid pipes, okay. I think those pipes are connected now. Lines didn't reach it. Okay. So I think we've secured our water. Let's double check. There's a button that actually gets you into this view properly, but I can't remember. Where's my water? Oh my god. This is really not working out too well. Maybe I need more water? I think the rule is you just kind of have to keep it close enough to a body of water to have those water pumps working. Okay, well now we have water flowing, so yeah. This gameplay video might make me look like an idiot, but I don't care. Anyway, so now that we have the power and the water, we're going to start building some basic infrastructure. So one thing that we're going to do is maybe put a little bit of industrial up here. So we're just going to start off with making some roads so it's at least accessible. I'm just going to basically plant some basic roads up there for future access. Actually, I'm just going to run a bunch of roads here. And let's just say we do... Oh yeah, because I made this as jagged, you can't put the roads through it. That was kind of a dumb move. Oh my god, whatever. And I'm basically just illustrating some basic play of the game here. This is really not how I would actually build a decent city to start off with. But yeah, what we're going to do is start off with building some residential. And we need to have power and we need to have water as well. I think pipes here are connected. Yes, they are. Good. Okay, so we have that. Then we're going to drop down some dense industrial. We're going to drop that kind of like right in here. And over here, I think this is the thing that kind of indicates what your demand is, if I'm not mistaken. So I think this one here says the industrial demand is high. So by building some industrial, that's hopefully good. Oh yeah, and there's actually some construction happening right there. Okay, so our budget has come up. We're not gonna dive into this too much right now because there's no money coming in because we just started. So it's gonna clear out of that. I'll cover that in a little bit. But if we click this tool here, this is our little information tool. We can see what's going on here. It's zoned industrial, blah, blah, blah. Crime is none, pollution is low, powered and watered, yes, yes, that's good. And so that'll eventually just kind of build up. Now, another thing we might want to do to kind of get more people into the city is or kind of like connect to the next city over, which you can actually do by, let's see, if we just kind of like build a road there. Oh my god. This is going to look like ass, but I don't care. If we put a road up there and then it says, do you want to build a connection to your neighbor for $1,000? Then we say, sure, why not? And there we have a route to the next city over. So I think that will increase the possibility of people coming here. So that's always good. So our industrial area is starting to come to life. There's nobody living here yet. And we've already spent like half of our original starting funds. So, yeah. Well, looks like the demand for industrial is still really high, and they've basically filled up that allocated spot already, so we're going to build more. And I think the rule to kind of like building or zoning out these areas is I think it has to be within like 3 squares from the road in order to be like accessible. So if I were to like build some industrial over here, like can't get to it, so it has to be close enough to transportation. So if I just put that right there, that'll just be connected to power automatically and water because we're touching the power station here. So, yeah. Oh, and now our residential appears to have shot through the roof for demand. Okay, well. We're waiting here for our dense residential to be filled up. And I always build as dense. You can also choose light, which is cheaper. This is like $5 per square, whereas the dense is 10. I don't know if there's really any specific reason you'd want to do the light residential over the dense. And the same thing goes for like industrial. You have a choice, light or dense. And of course, if you also start building commercial, there might be a reason why. It's something I've never actually looked into, but I figure by doing dense residential, it'll increase my tax base a lot more than light residential. At least that's my assumption. So anyway, we finally have some houses coming in. Our industrial area, it starts off pretty good. Let's see. Our demand for commercial is still kind of low. But let's just say for fun, we're going to build a little bit of a commercial area. And we're just going to like throw that in there. And we need to give them power and water, of course. Throw that there. Drop some water pipes in there. Then we're going to see how long it takes for that to actually start making any difference here. And our budget window is going to actually pop up momentarily here because it comes up at the start of every year. And we're just about to pass 1901 into 1902. Oh. Okay, here we go. So the default is a 7% property tax. I think that's probably okay to leave for now. I think if you raise it too high, then nobody will move here. So our transit budget covering like the roads and stuff. I guess it kind of lays it out here. You can actually set this as well specifically. One thing we're going to look at is city ordinances. Okay. You can actually add income tax and sales tax. Right now it shows as 0 because we're really pretty much just starting off. There's nothing happening. If we legalize gambling, no, that's still 0. Parking fines are still 0. So we have really nothing else going on. Everything else here takes money. So, for example, if you went to adding pollution controls, it's going to cost us money. Homeless shelter, no, no. Energy conservation costs us money. So for the time being, we're not going to do anything that costs us money. And we're not going to add any of this stuff here quite yet because we want to build maybe our tax base first. So, but yeah, our current cash flow for the year is $15 whole. Wow, that's amazing. So this is where it gets a bit tricky because you kind of have to balance what you have coming in versus the money you have left to spend. And you also need to build things that people want to kind of increase the likelihood that, you know, people will come here and, you know, move here, basically, I think. So this little box right down here is kind of where messages will pop up saying that people demand something, something, something. So eventually, when there's enough people here, you'll start seeing things like people demand a police station, people demand a fire station, that sort of stuff. Well, I wonder if we can start making things that people might want to have. So, for example, this here is your educational sort of stuff here. School, college, library, museum. Let's build a school. And if we drop it right here, it's perfectly fine to go over the existing power lines because obviously it's anything connected to this is still, you know, electrified. So we'll put a school right there. And that's all fine and cool. And then let's see what else. We're going to hold off on the police and fire station stuff for now. We're going to wait until that message comes up saying that they're demanded. I think what we want to do is maybe build a little bit more. Well, okay, let's see. Demand for residential is starting to get pretty high there, but still some space left over. You know what? Let's build another block of residential here. And I'm just going to throw it as dense residential. And for power and water, we can just hook up right to the existing ones there. Whoops. And drop one pipe there. And my speed is set pretty slow, so I mean, it might take a while for this city to like really build up. Now it seems like the demand for commercial is also high. A single thing has been built there yet. Interesting. While we're kind of like wondering what the heck is going on there, let's explore some of these other buttons here. Oh, this brings up your budget. So yeah, we won't worry about that. This brings up the population of yourself and the surrounding towns. So we built that construction to this town over here. So yeah, there's crap. Our population is 400 apparently. This button here talks about the population, health, education. So, I mean, this is kind of getting into the more advanced stuff. So, I mean, you could be looking at this sort of stuff to kind of determine what you're going to build and stuff like that. But look at the demand. Our industrial demand, tax rates. Yeah, this was all 7%. Interesting stuff. I don't know if this really helps you all that much for what you build next, but interesting to see. And as I've been rambling around on that, our commercial area is starting to get a little populated. So that's good. And yeah, it looks like the commercial demand is really high. What are these other charts here? Oh, looks like just basically different informational graphs, the crime level, what is this, the property values, unemployment, and oh, I guess this is projections as well. Or no, this is just what it's already been, I don't know. Okay, so anyway, we're into 1903, and our cash flow is now $30. And since we're kind of starting to get some more people coming in, let's just actually take a look at if we can add... Nope. Ooh, okay. If we add 1% income tax, we make a little bit more money. Nothing for gambling and parking fines. We can make $3 on parking fines. You know what? Learn to park properly. There we go. So we've raised our estimated cash flow to $39. That sounds good to me. Okay. We're still out of industrial here. The demand for everything now is looking like it's kind of high. Our commercial area is starting to get built. We need some more industrial, I think. So what we're gonna do is just throw another row right up here. Gonna connect their power and give them some water. So yeah. And there's a lot more that you can do in this game as well. There's things that I'm not really I guess things that I haven't really played around with too much, like the railroad stuff. I don't usually bother with that. I usually just go straight for roads and highways and stuff like that. So, and as the years progress, you get more options. So right now it just has road and tunnel, but then eventually you get options for bus depots and highways and stuff like that. So, but yeah, this is basically just kind of how you start off in the game. And then, you know, the messages come down here telling you what to build next. And it's a fun game, I think, in my opinion. And it's something that you can just kind of sit down and play for hours and just continue to build your city. And as you become more advanced, then, you know, you can fill up essentially the entire map. And then maybe you can demolish some of the older things to make way for new things. That gets more advanced. Oh, here we go. Citizens demand police. So people are kind of mad because their stuff's getting stolen, I suppose. So to make them happy, we build a police station. And I'm just going to throw that pretty much right there. And then we'll connect them to the power, connect them to the water. And people should be happy. And I don't know if it's going to show me anything right away. Okay, so it says our police station has 12 officers, and these numbers haven't been updated yet because it probably has to wait for what? Okay, now they're fire protection demanded. Oh my god, these people are so needy. What is going on here? Okay. Fire station. And this is all costing us money, by the way. So this is $500 to build, $500 to build a fire station, in addition to the impact it has on our city budget. And I'll demonstrate that in a moment here. Power. We're going to give them water. And see, our commercial area is pretty much getting full there. So we're going to just put some more commercial area here for fun. And of course, just build more roads around it. So now we're starting to get a little bit busy, it looks like. Looks like the demand for residential is low. Everything else is high. Interesting. Okay. And I don't think you necessarily want to put a bunch of industrial right next to residential, but you know, I'm not going to like keep playing this map after I make this video. So, you know, you can just like throw a bunch more residential in here, or not residential, industrial in here. Their pipes should be connected automatically when that happens. Water shortage reported. Okay. And you see how these ones don't have any water here. So now we have to deal with this situation, and typically you can just build more water pumps. One other solution I think you can do is when you go in here, you can build water tower. I'm not sure if it matters where you put the water tower. Just for fun, I'm going to put it there because I think that runs in the path of the pipes. Oh, I wish this didn't come up right now. Yeah, so I think that is in the path of our pipes. But while this is up, I'm just going to mention here's where the problem is. So now that we built the police station and the fire station, and now that we also have a school, these are all costing us money now. And look at our cash flow. Negative. Super. So let's just say we want to cheap out a little bit. We can drop down the budget for the police and fire, as well as our education. We like stupid people. So now our cash flow is only minus 82. So as soon as I click done here, that number right up at the top there should drop. Yep. A little bit. So, yeah. Not looking too good. It's going to keep costing us money. But when I built that water tower, I think that got rid of our water issue. It looks like, yeah. So having water pumps is a way to start, and then having the water tower also helps. And if you click on the information thing, it tells you that it has stored water. I don't know. I'm sure the numbers all mean something, but when you keep playing long enough, then you get additional features like water treatment and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's kind of neat. And, oh, now we have like, okay, we click, see how this looks like everyone's moved out. We click it. This abandoned building. You'll see this happen time to time, and then as the demand increases, then people will build again. So I think it might be because it looks like our residential demand is like hitting really low, if I'm reading this chart correctly. So yeah. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm not really serious about this city, so just for fun, we're gonna do something terrible, and that is we're going to destroy everything with earthquakes. And okay, 4,400 killed in quake. Oh my god, what happened? Where's my city? Everything's still intact. That's weird. You know what we need? We need a fire. Okay. So we've got a bunch of stuff on fire, flames, consume crowd. Yeah, okay. What about a tornado? Okay. Oh, that was over there. Wild winds whip crap. Okay. That sounds great. Ooh, rioters. Look at these people. Oh, we're so mad. We're gonna riot for some reason. Maybe we're gonna riot because our town is lamed crap. And it just basically... Okay, yeah, they're all mad. So I think what you have to do is, like, dispatch your police. Sorry, you can't send police here. Why not? Get out of here. Go home. Runaway riots. Oh, God. Okay. Wow. Monster. Wow. I don't think we can even do anything. Because you can't really, like... I don't know how you're supposed to deal with the monster. We need a... Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, we're getting ruined here. This was a good one. Oh, whoops. What am I doing? Our power plant is gone. This is a really bad disaster, actually. Look at that. Everything is just basically getting destroyed. You know what? We need... Well, we already had that, and let's do another earthquake. Earthquake, yep. Something's on fire. Oh! Well, the fire department just blew up, so I guess they're not going to be able to deal with that fire. Oh, am I a bad person? No, I don't think so. Okay. So, looks like eventually... Oh, the police station just blew up. That's a shame. I wonder how long until the hurricane goes away. But I think this is just like the end. I think everyone's gone. Yeah, I think I've ruined my city. I think these people here haven't left yet. They're still having hope for their houses. And okay, looks like the hurricane is clearing. A bunch of people on fire here still. Yeah. I think we ruined it. There's no power. Probably no water anymore. Everything is done, I think. That's interesting. What am I looking for? Ooh, the city map. Well, there's nothing left here. Land value. Yeah. This is what I'm looking for. I don't know why it still says I have population. We just blew everyone up. So everything's gone. So yeah. What we're gonna do though is no, we don't want to save it. I've been playing this other city here, called Crapville. This is the one I've been actually building more on a serious level. So I'm just gonna demonstrate what we've got going on here. I'm paused in here, but let's just go to Turtle. And so I've built this one up in the same way that you saw my last city there. You know, kind of like block design, where I've just put these blocks of different residential and commercial areas. I've got some basic power plants up here. I've also started to use hydroelectric power, so when you have water that flows down kind of like on a hill, then you can put hydroelectric in there. So that's an easy way to have like clean power, but it doesn't generate a lot of power, so yeah. But then I've also got like my marina, a bunch of boats, because people demanded a marina, so I had to build one. Then I've got the seaport here, which is like when you build this. And I have the availability of an airport because my city has progressed far enough along. But it's very expensive to build the airport. $250 per square. So obviously we're not going to do that. But yeah, this is kind of like where my own little personal city build is going. And I'm going to basically fill the entire map with this one eventually. And yeah. But yeah, this is, I think it's a fun game. It's an easy way to spend a lot of time. Just kind of like sitting here and playing. So, but yeah, while this is all here, we can take a look at, let's see. We go over here and we go to our police station. We have a lot of officers, a lot of crimes, a lot of arrests. Interesting. And yeah, fire department time. Okay. Seems okay. And on this map, I've actually disabled disasters because I don't really like having to deal with disasters. For me, the appeal of this game is just the building. So like to just sit here and continuously build. For me, that's what I like about this game. I'm not really a huge fan of when things go wrong in video games. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we've got other things here. We've got, like, I think I mentioned before, we have bus depots that I built and stuff like that. So that'll kind of like reduce the congestion on the roads. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. And I think in this one we've progressed far enough. Oh, no, still the same power options. But yeah, I think I was talking before about the water treatment plant. I think I've built one somewhere here already. I can't remember. But then we also have our rail options, so we can do... I think eventually I might do a subway. So it's kind of like the same as when you're building out pipes. You can build the subway underground, and then you build these little subway stations kind of like randomly around your city. So I might do that eventually. Here we got the... I do have the ability to build the highway and the on-ramps and stuff like that. I haven't done that yet, though. What else do we have here? I can build a prison, but I'm broke. I can build a zoo and a stadium, but I'm still broke. So, yeah, I've already built some other things that I think kind of increase the appeal of my city. So I think I've got like a library around here. That might be this. Library system. Yeah, looks good. So I think when you build these like luxuries, then people are more inclined to show up, and yeah. I don't think there's really much else to say. You can get more technical into this game, but kind of like the way I've shown it here, I think, is how you just kind of start off basic, just keep building, and as you continue to play, you get more advanced features and stuff like that, and I don't know, you just have fun with it. So I'm waiting for this to hit the budget screen so that I can take a look at what my cash flow is going to be. I think the last time I checked, I was bringing in like almost 1,000 for the annual budget. I've got like everything enabled. I've got the legalized gambling and stuff like that because I really need to get some more money to build. So yeah, I don't know. Seem to be going pretty good so far. Got my bridges and yeah. There we go. So yeah, I got my property tax at 8%, bringing in 943. We look at the ordinances. I did actually enable the neighborhood watch and pollution controls to kind of like help make people happy because this costs me. But then I also have the sales tax, the income tax, legalized gambling, and the parking fines. So everything else here, I'm probably not going to really bother. Like, yeah, that's just going to cost us. That costs us. Tourism, advertising, like this is all going to cost us. And I'm trying to make money here because I'm still pretty low on cash flow. I've already reduced the budget slightly on some of these. But yeah, like it's still a little slow going. And there's a few things you also have to be concerned about. My power plant is up here. If I click on the info, you notice it says this: the age and the maximum age. You might not be aware of it, but your certain power supply or power station... Oh my god, I can't even talk properly. But these only last 50 years. And when 50 years hits, it'll automatically cost you money and build a new one on its own. But if you don't have enough money, like if your budget is, or if you don't basically have the amount already waiting for that to happen, it'll blow up. So yeah, you don't want that to happen. So when this hits 1950, I need to make sure that I have something around the 6,000 power plant. Yeah, I need to make sure I have this amount of money in the bank when that hits, because if it's not able to like automatically replace itself and start off with 0 again, it'll just blow up and you'll have no power left. So there's things like that they have to be aware of. I mean, I don't think this game is horribly advanced, but you know, it's a bunch of stuff like that you just kind of have to keep track of. I don't think it's anything that's too complex. It's not going to take up, you know, too much of your thought process when you're building your city, but it's things like that you need to be aware of. I'm sure if I read the manual, I would know a lot of that stuff, but I never bothered to. So. But yeah, in a nutshell, this is SimCity 2000. I'm just gonna save my game there. So yeah, this was basically just a little bit of video game play. This is the first video that I'm doing on my little streaming setup here sort of thing. So I've got the IBM ThinkPad connected into a VGA upscaler, which is then connected to a 4K capture device, which is then run to my my Mac recording station. And I've got a new microphone set up that I'm using right now. So yeah, all of this is kind of like a new setup for kind of doing these video game videos. I'm not a huge video game player at all, but I want to do more videos like this because I think it's a little easier to do. I have not been able to really do a bunch of other types of videos that I was doing in the past because I don't have any room in my house right now. My house is full of crap, and I live in a very small apartment. So the little like studio corner I was using previously for my other videos, it's got like just crap piled up on that desk. So unfortunately, I've not been able to make the kind of videos I was doing previously, but I really like doing vintage computer content, so I'm going to start off, I think, by just doing some video game playing, and we'll see what will come for the future in this channel. So, yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Yeah, I don't know. I had fun showing this game off, and it's an old game. I think it was made in 1994, so, I mean, if you're watching this video, you've probably already heard of this game and you've probably played it years ago. So, yeah, I don't know. I just really like this game and I wanted to make a video on it. So, yeah, I don't know. Thanks for watching.